Can you dig it, sucker?
Live from Houston, Texas, and around the world. Join the 6-time World Heavyweight Champion, 2-time WWE Hall of Famer, and WWE NXT announcer, Booker T. Booker T. Alongside his right-hand man, the Boat, Brad Gilmore. It's time to get your champagne wishes and caviar dreams. Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. Now, can you dig that?
Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, 6-time world champ, 2-time Hall of Famer. Got my man Brad Gilmore here with me. As always, getting ready to do this thing like it's supposed to be done. Want to thank everybody for stepping inside the Hall of Fame today, getting your champagne wishes, caviar dreams. Man, we got a whole lot to talk about. There's a whole lot going on out there on the internet and the social media sphere. So Bradley, before we start, how you feel, man? How you feel?
Feeling good, Book. Coming off a great weekend. Last night, me and the missus and my sister-in-law went and saw Chris Tucker in concert.
Yeah, how was that, man? How was that? Was he funny?
He's still funny, man.
Yeah.
And, I think a lot of his jokes are like, same way Cat Williams is funny. Like, some of the stuff they say is funny, but it's really how they say the jokes.
Yeah,
their voice and their delivery and their inflection. But congratulations to Chris Tucker. And it was a great show. Great show, man. He was really funny, man. Really,
I was
funny.
watching Martin. He's back out there too, doing stand up. And I swear, bro, just a little clip I saw, he didn't look funny at all. I swear to God, he looked brother looked like he just back out there trying to make a little scratch, like doing an independent, here and there and whatnot. But I was like, only thing that was funny was his eyes. His eyes was butt wide open, like he had been, doing some, cocaine. Speaking of cocaine, the NWA is in the news about a skit that went down on their programming, and it was actually had something to do with cocaine. I was reading that on the internet, and I kind of like brushed it off because I could see something like that happening. With one of these companies thinking that's cool, thinking people gonna buy into it. We're changing, everything's accepted now. I can see something like that happening. But, I know you had brought it up. What was the full rundown on that?
So, again, this was from the NWA pay-per-view that they had about a week or so ago. And there was a spot in the show where James Mitchell was shown at a table with a bunch of the boys and girls or whatever, and they were all drinking alcohol, and then like at the table they were snorting coke, allegedly.
Did you actually see it?
Give me, yeah. You see what they're doing in the spot. I was trying to see if I could pull it up and show the clip, but maybe that might get us demonetized. I don't know. But
it might.
but and again, like you understood what was going on in the clip, and you see it or whatever, and then one of the women was snorting it or what have you, and then obviously, they just announced, or there was rumors or reports that they were going to be entering into a national TV deal, the NWA, with the CW network, an affiliate, a network around the country owned by Nexstar, which obviously Reality Wrestling is on the Houston and Dallas affiliate of, and
Yes.
And now they were saying that deal might be in jeopardy. House of Wrestling reported that CW officials were not happy with that in light of their new deal that was set to bring both NWA Power and a reality television show to the network. The outlet reported that there's a, quote, 90% chance, end quote, both shows will now air on the CW's app versus the broadcast network as a result due to the network receiving negative social media comments after the segment.
Hey, man, you got to know, being a promoter is not easy. Putting on shows is not easy. Trying to fit into what's going on now. I always talk about, if you don't know how to change with the times pass you by. Everything now is like shock TV. It's just like jumping off something and taking a bump, and the fans going, this is awesome, this is awesome. everybody's looking for that instant coffee, that one thing that's going to make their show pop, more so than the next show. But what city was that in?
I don't know what city they did that in. Actually, I can
Well,
try to
well,
look
well,
that up.
I just want to let just in case CW is listening, we got a small little show called Reality of Wrestling that would love that spot, and we ain't doing no cocaine angles.
None.
How about that? How about that?
NWA Sam Hain. Sam Hain? Where's Sam Hain? I don't know what that means.
Yeah,
SAMHAIN. I'm sure it's a city somewhere. But yeah, I mean, the spot literally, and here's the thing that I thought about it. When I first read the comment, I'm like, well, that was stupid. And then when I looked into it more and I saw the clip, and then I saw the clip and I thought, wait a minute. Nobody said, hey guys, this might not be a good idea. James Mitchell, I don't know a whole hell of a lot about him other than he's been in the wrestling business for a long time. And I'm sure at some point he might have had that inkling of that spidey sense tingling of, hey, maybe this isn't a bad idea. And I thought for sure, Book, that Billy Corgan, who owns the NWA, might have said, hey, look, guys, we got some corporate deals in place. I don't think this is a good idea. But in the same report that I was reading from earlier, this also stand out. The outlet, being House of Wrestling, reported that the cocaine spot was the idea of NWA owner Billy Corgan, who pushed for it to be on the pay-per-view. Yeah.
I don't know Billy Corgan personally or anything like that, but for him to want to push an angle like that makes me think that he haven't been that far removed from, partaking, in an angle like that once or twice.
Or seeing it. I mean, he is a rock star, so I'm sure that's been at many
Yeah, but look here, bro. You ain't gonna want to do an angle like that if you haven't, partake here and now, once and again, time and time. You're not. You're just not, because me personally, I'm never gonna do a cocaine angle. Okay, just because I'm like, wait a minute, bro. I've been around, people that have done cocaine. I've seen the effects of what cocaine can do to you, especially a crack cocaine.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it break individuals, people that you would never think in a million years take one hit, boom. And so for me, I know I'm not going to be doing that kind of an angle, but for the person to want to do that, have had to, been around it, seen it, maybe have done it, and know the effects of it. It makes you feel good. And I've said that about drugs. I remember I've told you the story about me going to the hospital and getting Dilaudid, in the drip. And I had a hallucination to where I felt like I was playing in the PGA in one of the major golf tournaments. Hit a beautiful shot. The sky was a beautiful bright blue. The sun was shining. And I woke up and Charmel was sitting there. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? It was a dream. And I told that doctor, please, doc, never give me that ever again. So I know the fact, if it's good and you like it, hey, you have no problem with
it. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I understand. Now we'll say just, alleged. We're making alleged comments. We're talking in the hypothetical. That's called CYA. But I just was really, though, just surprised that they went through with this. Now, to your point, yeah, you would never do a cocaine angle, because I remember, all hell broke loose when somebody spit one time at the show. You know what I'm saying? Like, you weren't okay with a spit angle. I can't imagine if somebody pitched the cocaine angle to you in the office, what would have happened?
Yeah. There again, I'm conscious of not just, what I like, but perhaps what other people might like, as well as, a spitting angle. It might be cool at, a ECW show, where the fans are off into gore and whatnot, blood, whatnot. But for me, I am catering to a certain audience, and I got to make sure I stay inside the guidelines of, the television rights and whatnot, just because I don't want to lose my spot. I don't want to have any problems with the network. So that's the first thing that I'm thinking about as a promoter. Even a small independent company like Reality of Wrestling, even having, being on, CW from a smaller scale, that's the first thing that I'm thinking about when we put together a show is whether they're going to like it or not. It just seemed like the first thing you should be, or if they're going to approve on something or not. And of course, rules are to be bent. Sometimes you try to push the envelope a little bit further. Just like say, for instance, with the girls. So I get it, but sometimes seems like you would think a little bit better in a situation like that.
Yeah.
We got to take a break. Stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Inside the Hall of Fame, guys. Got a big show going down, Reality of Wrestling, this weekend, November 11th, right there at the Booker T. What do we call the arena these days?
I don't know. You haven't really named it.
We're still waiting on the big LED sign to come in, so we can just call it whatever we want, whenever we want to do it. We might just put a different name on it every week until we get one of the, look here, until we get one of those big Coca-Cola sponsors.
Yeah.
That want to put some up there, Coca-Cola, theater, something like that. You know what I mean? Yeah, hey. I'm just throwing a little line out there. Hopefully we'll get a bite. So guys, if you're anywhere in the Texas City surrounding area, it's going down 7:00 bell time. I will be there. The main event, special attraction match, the Underground King, the Bounty Hunter, Brian Keith, one of Reality of Wrestling's finest, is going to be taking on the amazing Kenny King in the main event, guys. So come on out and check it out. That match is just going to be for bragging rights more than anything. It's going to be about who is the better man, as well as the card is going to be stacked. And there again, your boy, 5-time champ, he will be in the house.
If you don't get shown the door like last time.
Yeah. That's true.
How's that injunction going? I heard you filed an injunction against Reality of Wrestling.
Yeah, I can't talk about it.
Okay.
Because it is still in litigation.
Pending litigation, of course.
Yeah. So soon as everything go down, I can tell you this right now. I'm real happy. I feel real good about the case, and I got a hell of a lawyer. I got a hell of a lawyer on the case. His name's Walker, Texas lawyer, taking care of business down here in Houston, Texas. So guys, if you see Walker, hit your horn for him one time.
Hey, Book. You know what? I know. Obviously, we don't venture off into politics or anything on this show, but I do want to encourage everybody tomorrow, if you're in the Houston area and you want to exercise, your right to go out and vote. There's a lot of big elections happening in the city and countrywide. It is an election day. So make sure, you go out there. You can't change it. You got to play the game to change the game. J. Cole said that on his album one time, and I really believe that. You got to play the game to change the game. So, step up and go out there and do what you got to do, man.
Yeah.
Although, Sheila Jackson Lee was at the Chris Tucker concert. She got up on stage, did a little speech or what have you, and made her presence felt. Did you hear the thing with Sheila Jackson Lee? Did you hear that recording that came out?
No.
The where she was cussing, allegedly. I don't know if it was really her. They say it's her, but it's alleged. Where she's cussing out her like staff.
Sometimes you got to motivate them.
I was about to say, it made me like her more. I think they thought it was gonna be like a hit piece. But I was like, man, she seemed real as hell.
If somebody see me, when I don't really, think the camera's just rolling, you might hear me say some crazy stuff. You might see me do some stuff that you go, wow, man. But sometimes to get your team motivated, you gotta go the extra mile. They gotta feel it. They just can't see it. They gotta know you're just as passionate about what's going on above everybody. I talk about that as far as my school go. I say, if somebody sees something on the floor and they don't pick it up, they got a problem with me, because I know if I see it on the floor, I'm going to pick it up. You know what I mean? I'm going to make sure that's just something that's just in me. So I need everybody on my team working just as hard. And bro, look at Deion Sanders. I mean, he's the same way. He's going to push those kids as hard as he can push them. You know what I mean? It's just like that. In every form of life, I think, if you got a leader is somebody that's going to lead. And they're going to lead by example, because they're not telling you anything that they wouldn't do themselves.
And here's the thing, and this is no by in no way a political endorsement of any kind, but like there's a fine line between, like as you said, motivating and bullying, right? Sometimes, yeah, you could go too far, but to me, like if I make a mistake and it's an important mistake and I really screw something up, and my boss comes to me or who's ever leading the event or whatever and says, "Hey, Brad, it's okay, man. Don't get down on yourself. Just do better next time. Don't, you're going to be okay. Don't let it happen again." Maybe I'm not going to feel the effects of that screw up as much as if somebody came at me like this recording of Sheila Jackson Lee was. Like, hey, don't be a dumb MFer, right?
Yeah.
Don't
yeah.
F it up. Or whomever might say it. I'm not just saying her in particular. Whoever might say it. I think sometimes that help, in my opinion, that can help build character. I'm not saying that that you should always go that way, but sometimes people need to know that they messed up. You know what I'm saying? In a motivating way.
On top of that, though, just to piggyback off of that, I mean, Sheila Jackson Lee has been doing so much work in the city of Houston for so long. She's been doing good work in the city of Houston. And if I could endorse anybody in this race, it would be Sheila Jackson Lee, because I know she's going to do the right thing. Not for her. She's going to do the right thing for the city. So hopefully Sheila Jackson Lee see and hear this. And if you need me to help you in any way, shape, form, fashion, boom, I'm here.
Oh, yeah. Well, that it's likely, as most mayoral races do in Houston, going to go to a runoff sometime in December, if history is any judge of that. So we'll see what happens. But what I would like for people to do, whoever the next mayor is in the city of Houston, and you can back me up on this, there's no reason why we shouldn't be an entertainment capital, especially in the South. You have New York, you have LA, but by this time next year, we're going to be the third largest city by population in the United States. Houston is. Why aren't we a major entertainment capital? We're not. We don't need to just be oil and gas.
You know what? I think we're oil and gas type of state. Really, I think that's the only thing we really focus on is the trivial things, like fighting each other. I really believe that's one of the reasons why this city has been held back from being exactly what you're talking about. And I say that, man, because I'm gonna tell you right now. I was on my way down to Galveston Beach on Saturday. All right. And I just want to get away. Going down, and I say, man, let me hang out, and saw so many bikers going down there, right?
Lone Star Rally. Yeah.
Yeah, Lone Star Rally. I mean, it was black bikers, white guys, it was a smorgasbord. And I say, man, something's bad gonna happen here before I leave. And 5 people got shot.
At the Lone Star Rally?
Yes.
Oh my God, I did not hear that.
5 people got shot. And I was like, when you got and it was I don't know, several different groups as far as, I don't know, what do they call themselves? Biker gangs, or what do they call themselves?
Biker clubs?
Clubs, yeah, biker clubs. And they had several different clubs, right? Now, this is what I'm thinking. You got all of these different clubs and all of these people are in a group, all right? This group, this group, this group, this group. Now, this group thinks the same. This group thinks the same. This group thinks the same. And you got all of that. None of that. Nothing good can come out of that.
Yeah.
Nothing. You know what I mean? And there again, I'm not against people that want to vote for Trump or anything like that. But when you see the flags, flying, and it's and then you see the derogatory terms, and it's like, why do you want people to see that you're a part of? Not that that's not who you want to vote for. Voting always used to be a thing that we did, in silent, because in the booth, because I don't want to offend you, and you don't want to offend me, and we might be friends. Right. We might be the best of friends, right. And I just do not know why people want to be so divided these days and pick a side. There's no way Houston will be an entertainment capital because people are thinking about the wrong damn things in the state of Texas. That's why.
Well, in the state, sure. And that can be argued. But in the city, You know, I mean, the city of Houston, we could. I feel like with the right leadership, we could do something. Now, and I'll be honest with you, Book. I don't know a lot about.
Tell me this.
Yeah.
You don't think Sylvester Turner tried to do as much as he can as far as try to make this city looked upon as being entertaining?
I do. Yeah. I think he tried.
Exactly my point. No one person can do it by themselves.
No. Yeah. It's got to be a coalition.
It's going to take a collaboration, a coalition, not just the city of Houston, but the whole state of Texas have to have that mindset. That's why we're so far behind on legalizing marijuana, just because we want to still lock up people for having marijuana, just because that's money that's going out of the state's pocket. That's what I'm talking about. Until we can change our mindset, this state and this city is always going to be looking up to cities like LA and New York City.
I don't disagree. I think that a lot of times some of the states, and ours included, can focus and get bogged down into too many wedge issues. When entertainment is something that we can all get behind. You know what the beauty? Whenever somebody asks me, like, what do you love most about being at reality wrestling? Right? I say, you know what's so great about pro wrestling? The crowd, the wrestlers, the locker room, the environment. Nobody cares. Right? Yeah. Like our crowd. Come look at a reality wrestling crowd. It is so diverse. You're going to have white, black, Hispanic, Asian. You're going to have old, young, men, women, gay, straight, otherwise, all under the building in one roof. And do you know who cares? You know how many political conversations happen? None. They just want to see the good guys go beat up the bad guys. They want to see Booker get thrown out of the building. You know what I mean?
I remember when we was doing the shows outside, right? And we was having a big show. Fans showed up like crazy, cars parked everywhere, and but it was in the voting seats. Oh,
it's the vote, raising awareness for voting.
Yeah, we were raising awareness for the vote, and we had a lot of Republicans out there, and we had a lot of Democrats out there, and I was like, man, this thing could go nuts. So I said, I got to do something to make sure everybody's thinking about nothing but one thing. So I came out and I did a speech. And I said, this may be the last time you guys see reality wrestling. And the one thing I love is that we're all here together. And we're not thinking about anything. It's not about anything other than wrestling, because if reality of wrestling is gone next month, nobody's going to give a damn. And everybody was like, yeah. Like, that was the right speech.
I remember that.
I had to pull one out of the hat because I needed everybody to get along. That's all I needed. I just needed everybody to focus their mind on one thing that night. You can vote for whoever you want to vote for. Okay, that's what that was about, registering. You can vote. We're not telling you who to vote for.
Right.
But tonight, we're not going to think about that. We're just going to have some fun. You can go vote next week or whatever. So that's the beauty of, for me, just trying to bring people together. And I think that's what we, really need to think about and focus on in this life.
And that's what entertainment can do. Bring people together.
So. I agree. I agree 100%. I agree 100%. Stick around, guys. You're in the hall, man. We'll be back in a minute. Can you dig it, sucker? And this episode is sponsored by Blue Chew. Guys, let's talk about it. Let's talk about sex. Hey, you remember when you was always ready to go? I'm talking about strapping the rocket on it, man. Going straight to the moon. I'm talking about getting it done. If you want that extra confidence, I got something for you. Listen up. BlueChew.com. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, Levitra, but in a chewable tablet at the fraction of the cost.
But the great thing, Book, is you can take it any time, day or night, so you can plan ahead or be ready whenever an opportunity arises. The process is simple. You sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days.
The best part, guys, it's all done online on the internet. So there's no doctor's visit, no awkward conversations, no waiting in line at a pharmacy or any of that.
And the thing is, Book, Blue Chew's tablets, they're made right here in the USA and prepared and shipped direct to your door in a discreet package, so no one is the wiser.
Let's just get it out there, guys. Blue Chew wants to help you have better sex. Discover your options at BlueChew.com. It's like this: chew it and do it. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew absolutely free when you use promo code Booker at your checkout. Just pay $5 for shipping, man. That's BlueChew.com and use promo code and receive your first month absolutely free, man. Visit BlueChew.com. Use promo code Booker to receive your first month absolutely free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And, we want to thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the Hall of Fame podcast. Chew it and do it. Can you dig it, sucker? All right, everyone, it's Booker T and Brad Gilmore here, and we've got something exciting for all you sports, comedy, music, and theater fans out there. We're talking about Game Time, the fastest, easiest way to get your hands on tickets to your favorite events.
That's right, Book. We love all those spontaneous, unforgettable moments, and Game Time is here to make them happen. Whether it's a last-minute decision to see a game or a sudden urge to catch a live show, Game Time has got you covered, giving fans access to tickets even at the last minute in over 60 cities across the United States and Canada.
Hey guys, this ain't about getting in. This is about getting the best seats in the house. With Game Time, you can see images of your seat before you buy it. So no surprises there, guys. You can score tickets swiftly. Skip the line, guys. Just dive straight into the moment.
Absolutely. And listen to this. Game Time guarantees the best prices. Find tickets in the same section and row for less elsewhere. Game Time will give you a credit of 110% of the difference. So there's no reason to wait, Book.
So whether it's the thrill of the game, the laughter of the comedy, the rhythm of the music, or the drama of the theater, guys, don't let the opportunity skip by. Choose Game Time. Grab your tickets and just enjoy the moment.
Live should be spontaneous, Book. So guys, don't miss out. Check out Game Time now on their app or at gametime.co. That's gametime.co.
Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Just download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code Booker for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Lowest price guaranteed. Oh, yes. Hey, what's up? This Booker T, and winter is here, and you know what that means. Trying to stay comfortable while you sleep. Well, I've got something exciting for you.
That's right, Book. We've recently discovered a game changer for a good night's sleep. It's called Miracle Made, and it has its new product, the silver-infused bed sheets inspired by NASA.
Yeah, these sheets are no ordinary sheets, guys. They've got self-cooling properties that keep you at the perfect temperature all night long, thanks to NASA-inspired technology.
And here's the kicker. They're self-cleaning too. Infused with silver, these sheets prevent up to 99.7% of bacterial growth, leaving them fresh and clean 3 times longer than regular sheets. So that means no more gross odors. Plus, they're all about comfort and quality. Miracle sheets are luxuriously comfortable without the crazy price tag of other luxury brands. Trust me, Book, they feel as nice, if not nicer, than the sheets used by some 5-star hotel.
And just in time for the holidays, guys, these Miracle Sheets make perfect gifts for your loved ones. And who doesn't want better sleep and luxurious bed sheets? And guess what, guys? You get 3 free towels with your purchase. But wait, there's more. These sheets are designed with your skin in mind. No more sleeping on bacteria that can clog your pores. You don't want that. Sleep clean with Miracle.
Yeah, so here's the deal, listeners. Go to trymiracle.com/Booker to try it today or gift it to someone special this holiday season. And guess what? You will save over 40%.
Do it! And don't forget, guys, if you use the promo code at your checkout, you'll get 3 free towels and an extra 20% off.
And if that wasn't great, here's the best part. Miracle stands behind their product with a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not 100% satisfied, you will get a full refund from Miracle Made.
Hey guys, upgrade with Miracle Made. Go to trymiracle.com/Booker and use the promo code Booker and claim your free 3-piece towel set and save over 40%. Trymiracle.com/Booker. Treat yourself or a loved one this holiday season to a gift of better sleep. Don't wait. Try Miracle Made today.
Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt your regularly scheduled program for an important public service announcement.
This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill. This is something more essential, a revolutionary ball trimmer that has landed right here from the future.
That's right. Manscaped has been working overtime to upgrade your below-the-waist grooming experience with their cutting-edge Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra.
Let's cut to the chase. Every man out there knows the fear of going in for a close shave in those most sensitive areas.
Yeah, we've been there, Book, but fear no more. The Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra is the hero that you deserve, featuring not one, but 2 interchangeable next-gen skin-safe blade heads.
This isn't just your standard grooming. It gives that super smooth finish with a new foil blade your heart desires, and Manscaped delivers.
And it does not stop there. With dual LED spotlights, you can navigate the darkest of regions with precision regardless of your skin tone.
And they thought of everything, man. 3-length setting comb, and guess what? My man, this bad boy is waterproof.
That's right, Booker. Trim with confidence in or out of the shower. The Lawnmower 5.0 trimmer helps reduce nicks, the risk of ingrown hairs, and those dreaded grooming accidents.
And because we've got your back, man, get 20% off free shipping with the code, Booker T at manscaped.com.
Just think about it. 20% off, free shipping at manscaped.com with the code Booker T. High-tech grooming for your low places.
Look, man, from a personal experience, this isn't just a ball trimmer. It's like a spaceship for your man parts. Smooth, efficient, and it takes care of B.I.itness, dog.
Remember, we're keeping it real with you all. We partnered up with Manscaped because we believe in the product. They hooked us up and we're passing that on to you.
So, gentlemen, upgrade your grooming game, man, and visit manscaped.com. And don't forget to use the promo code Booker T for your exclusive deal. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. Hey, guys, next week, got a special guest host will be stepping inside the Hall of Fame. Actually,
This week, right?
This week.
Yeah.
I'm tripping this week. Maven Huffman, my brother Maven Huffman. A lot of people didn't know Maven and I was brothers.
Right.
He's kind of like what's the black sheep of the family.
Like Tito.
Yeah. So we're gonna bring him inside the Hall of Fame. And I need for Maven more than anything. Maven was one of those young guys coming into the business. Got in through Tough Enough, of course. But you hear all kinds of stories about me. Maven's a perfect person to give a testimonial about what kind of person Booker T really was inside the locker room. A veteran, working with the young guys. We got to get guys like the Miz on the show. I need a testimonial from Miz as well, because I've heard a lot of rumor about me, just only from certain people, and I always thought, I really did, when I hear like Rene Dupree and guys like that, I always thought I was one of the nicest guys, in the locker room as far as treating guys a certain way, especially young guys coming up. Even though I made a comment about Rene Dupree and I thought he should have stepped up and fought for himself back then. And he said he was a kid. Oh, okay, I get it. But, if you're a kid, you should be, on the playground, not in the wrestling. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion, right? Right? But having someone like Maven to actually speak on, was I one of those, did I kiss anybody's butt? Was I one of those guys that was passive? Did I not speak my mind? Was I a bully? Those type of things.
I'm going to press him on it.
Yeah.
I want to read the story. I want to know. You know what I mean? And then you know what? For that matter, we should get somebody like Renee on the show. Why not have Renee in? we can confront him. We can really talk about it. Let's see
Well,
what's real.
I would love to get Renee on as well because I think Renee knew I was a nice guy. I think Renee, I didn't stick up for him or anything when stuff. I did see everything that was going on with Renee Dupree. Everything, from the Bob Holly story to the overseas trip from hell when they took his clothes and glued him to the wall and put his shoes in the shower. I was there, when his bag came up missing, his computer. I was out there, I witnessed, I saw all of it. And I didn't say anything because it's like a man's sport. You know what I mean? It's like a man's sport. It's like being in, I hate to use this analogy, but like when you're in jail, right? You have like what they call fish, okay? Fish
like
scared.
the new
Yeah, the new guys come in. They're scared. They don't want to fight. And they come up and they go, hey man, like I had a couple of people, hey, can I ride with you? And that means, they're under my protection. Nobody's gonna mess with them. Just make sure the commissary is stocked on a weekly. You know what I mean? That type of stuff. That's what that would have made me feel like if I would have went to Renee's
defense. Right.
I would have felt like he was a fish. I would have, hey, bro, you owe me part of your paycheck. I might have would have went back to that mentality. You know what I mean? I didn't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why I didn't, involve myself in anybody's business when it came to protecting yourself because it's a man's sport. That's the only reason. But outside of saying that about Renee Dupree, I don't think I've said anything negative about him.
Yeah.
Can you recall?
I can't recall. And to be honest with you, I think Renee, from my memory, because I haven't gone back and watched any of his stuff in a long time. From my memory, though, I mean, Renee had a great look, right? Good looking kid, Jack.
Yes.
Had a good persona, like a good character. I remember the French tickler thing that he would do, like the little dance, right? And he had the poodle. And I remember I hated that guy. Like I hated him, which in a good way. Like I hated him in the way that he probably wanted me to hate him. And I don't know. And he was getting a push at the time. Maybe that was part of some of the antics. I don't know. I mean, I'm not in the locker room at the time.
Yeah. I just,
But maybe, I don't know, maybe that has something to do with it. But I would love that Maven's coming on because I was a big Maven fan. If you talk about somebody who probably had a difficult time coming in, I mean, hey, man, you just got in from a reality show. You know how many years I spent on the indies? You know how many years I spent in, trying to work my way up the card, and you're coming in and getting this big push? I mean, I could see, I'm sure he didn't rub everyone the right way.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe not. I don't know. I never had a problem with Maven. I always thought he was a good kid, but that was my take on most guys that was coming in. If they were nice, you could tell if they were nice. If they had an attitude, you could tell they had an attitude. I mean, it's not that hard to see the difference. Go ahead.
If I could ask you, talking about the tough enough people, right? You've already mentioned two of them, Maven and The Miz. Now, I never heard any stories about Maven rubbing people the wrong way. He may have. We can ask him when he's on here. I know Miz got, ribbed a little bit and, kind of coming in and what that, and he talks about it, and he talks about changing in the public restrooms and stuff like that. But I've not heard great things about like somebody like a Daniel Puder, right? And I'm not trying to cast aspersions or talk negatively about him at all, but a lot of people, this is the rumor, he got unceremoniously chopped in that Royal Rumble match by, I think, you and Benoit and Guerrero and a whole bunch of people in there and Holly. Because
just for the record, I didn't want to be a part of that.
Did you chop him? I don't remember. You were in the match, right?
Maybe I didn't chop him. I don't think I did.
I don't remember. So scratch that. But I do remember Bob, Benoit, and Eddie for sure. Yeah. I remember that for sure.
I might have got one in, but I don't remember.
Cover it up there just in case. Oh, that's a CYA. But my point was, I always heard that was because he came in with the wrong attitude. And that was kind of like, hey, kid, watch yourself. I don't know. What do you remember about Puder?
No, he did. He did have the wrong attitude. He didn't understand the business because he didn't come from the business. He was a guy that got in from Tough Enough, and he had a wrestling background. He was actually a pretty tough kid also. So, I mean, he was a guy that, had some credentials. But in the wrestling business, your credentials really don't mean a whole lot. You got to know how to do what I talk about all the time. And that's, if you can't make it in the locker room, you're not going to make it in the ring. If you don't know how to, become one of the boys, it is a frat house. It is a fraternity.
Mhm.
It truly is. I mean, I can't see it anything. I can't, compare it to anything other than that, really, And I think in a fraternity, in a frat house, if you don't know how to get along, you're not going to stick around very long. It's just the way it is. And I think that's what Daniel Puder's problem was. He went out and he hooked Kurt Angle. They had a wrestling match, and he went out and hooked Kurt Angle and had him. And I was like, man, the hell this kid thought he doesn't know that's Kurt Angle. You're supposed to get the old veteran a way out, make him look good. You don't come in doing stuff. So it was the little little things that got Daniel Puder a lot of heat. Unlike The Miz. The Miz was the guy that he was gonna figure this thing out, because Miz was in for the long haul. He wasn't in to come in and play games or anything. Miz was coming in and he was gonna make this a business and a career. And to do that, you got to know how to play every role all the time. And I said once, and I said 1,000 times, they got to be able to trust you. The Miz, he earned that trust. He garnered that trust by being the guy that was going to be Johnny on the spot, no matter what people thought about him. So it is a difference in making in this business, and sometimes it's not about how much talent that you have.
Yeah. Yeah, it's about, as you've always said, making it in the locker room before you can make it anywhere else. I mean, that's just the name of the game. So I'm excited. I'm excited to have Maven on the show. Maven Huffman, the long-lost Huffman brother. Maybe y'all could reform. Maybe y'all could be the new Harlem Heat.
You know what? That's a good idea. Speaking of
y'all, or maybe you, him, and Stevie can do something like a 6-man or so. I don't know. You know what I mean? The possibilities are endless.
Speaking of Harlem, we got a couple minutes before we got to go to break. Speaking of Harlem Heat, Ahmed Johnson, he's been back in the league.
I don't know where this is going.
No. Ahmed Johnson, he's made a lot of claims that, and I just want to clear him up. He said, when he came into WCW, my brother and I, was having problems. It's the reason why my brother got him to come. My brother got him in to help him make some money. That was it. I saw Ahmed Johnson about 2 months ago at the airport. I was on my way to Florida, and I walked up and we made eye contact. He looked at me and he smiled, and I turned left and I went to the counter and I proceeded to get on the plane. I didn't even speak to him. I didn't even acknowledge him, because he's a notorious lying, low down piece of you know what. And that's the reason I did not even acknowledge him. Now, if Ahmed Johnson is doing conventions and stuff now, and if you want to, say something to me about this, because I'm sure he's going to hear about it, I'm not gonna ever acknowledge him, because, like I say, he's a lying, low down scum. I'll never acknowledge him, but if he ever acknowledged me, I would definitely proceed. I just wanted to put that out there and say that this guy, like I say, he's a notorious liar. He said he played for the Dallas Cowboys. He said he was in a gang. If he played for the Dallas Cowboys, anybody from 85 to 95, go look on any scroll. And I'm not going to even call him Ahmed Johnson anymore, because that's not his name. His name is Tony Norris. Okay, that's what his name is. WWE own Ahmed Johnson. Okay, he's not Ahmed Johnson. He's Tony Norris. Like I say, if I ever see him, we'll deal. If he wants to say something to me, but for me, for my part, I'm never going to acknowledge someone like him, because I know what kind of person I am, and to hear someone like him disparage me. And let me go back one more time. You say that we didn't get along in the wrestling school that we went to. We both went to Ivan Putski's wrestling school. And I remember one day I did have a kerfuffle with Ahmed Johnson at the wrestling school because we were doing practice, and I was doing hip tosses, arm drags, victory rolls, stuff like that. And he wanted to practice power bombs. And I said, "Look, bro, I don't practice power bombs." And he got hot about it. He got a little bit hot about it. And I think I checked him that day and told him, "Hey, man, if you got a problem with me, I'll be outside waiting." I think my brother can attest to this. And he pretty much, said, "Nah, so we squashed it, whatnot. But I never had a problem with Ahmed Johnson. I never disliked Ahmed Johnson. And me personally, I don't even know where he's getting half of the stuff that he's saying. But then again, I do because got to take a break. He's a notorious lying, low down piece of you know what. We got to take a break. We'll be back in a minute. Can you? Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. Going down this Friday on our podcast Heat, big interview with Lexis King, 5 minutes of fame, man. You don't want to miss out. You don't want to get shut out. You're going to want to hear what that kid got to say. He's very, very fascinating, one should say.
I agree with that characterization. Very fascinating individual. I really enjoyed talking to him. And Lola Vice. If you didn't hear the interview with Lola Vice or see it, it's on our YouTube channel. What?
I'm talking. I just said, oh yes, Lola Vice, man, Cholula Green dog. But she's an athlete. That's what impressed me more about Lola Vice is her heart and work ethic, and what she's gone through to get here. This is not something that just happened by osmosis or anything like that. She's a true athlete, and I really feel like she can go to that next level in the game just by when I talk to her. Just the look in her eyes tell me a whole lot about her. Yeah,
of course. I was actually really enjoyed talking to her and some of the insight that she gave about her story because, as you said, you say characterize it Cholula Green. Obviously she's a beautiful girl. Anyone with two eyes can see that, right? But how many beautiful girls are there out there? There's a lot, right? What separates them from everyone else? What separates her from everyone else? And it's obviously her work ethic, and she's already proven so much in a short amount of time in NXT. I mean, as far as a week to week, you could see her progress and her work, and she's hungry to get better. You could just tell that in the interview we had with her. So I really did enjoy that. But and Lexis King, I know it's called 5 minutes of fame, but I'm just going to tell everybody right now, it was about 30 minutes of fame with Lexis King, but it was worth every minute of it.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Really enjoyed talking to that guy. There was a lot that went down in the world of wrestling book. I know that we have been talking about a couple of things, but we do have Super Chats flying off the shelves. And I should say, this is your last day to enter into the Super Chat contest. We're going to announce, I believe we said next Thursday or Monday. Next Thursday. Thursday, we're going to announce exactly who won the Super Chat contest. Who's going to get an all expenses paid vacation to Houston, Texas, the future entertainment capital of the world, and to see reality of wrestling live and in living color for Christmas chaos. But should we get to some of the Super Chats? You want to jump into them?
Let's do it, man.
We'll jump into them. I'm sure.
You want to talk about Ahmed Johnson?
I'm sure that they do. I'm sure that it's somewhere in there.
Just a low down. Dirty.
Never mind. Let me not stir the pot. But
Go ahead,
no. I've looked into the Dallas Cowboy thing, and I've personally looked into it. And I will tell you this: I know a lot of wrestling journalists who've looked into it. People who are credible names. I won't say who, but that have reached out to me saying, "Do you know anything about him in Dallas Cowboy?" I can't find anything.
Look up his military record.
Oh, was he in the service?
I think he said he was a special ops. Something like that.
Well,
no, I'm just saying.
Look, people say things. Look, he's a wrestler. He embellishes. That's what you do, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean.
These are stories that was before wrestling, though. Yeah, I've been hearing these stories.
We'll see. This is from Wikipedia. Should I read the Wikipedia, or should we not go into this?
Just read it.
Okay, I'm all for your direction. I'm going to read it. It says, while attending high school, he performed well at American football, basketball, amateur wrestling, track and field. According to Norris, he joined the United States Army, but was later discharged due to striking his captain over viewing his orders as kind of cowardly. What does that mean? He
Okay.
hit the guy in charge?
Dishonorable discharge. Okay, move on.
Well, I don't see anything here. Early career, talks about wrestling, nation
Do
domination.
you see Dallas Cowboys on there?
I don't see anything at the Dallas Cowboys. It did say he went to college and got a degree in criminology after he retired.
Look. Tony Norris never played for the Dallas Cowboys. That's a blatant lie, and I just want to put it out there. Just because when people say things, they need to be able to back it up. I never played football. All right, I never played for the Dallas Cowboys. All right, everything's out there that I've done. You pretty much know about it. And it's the truth. Go ahead.
Wait, well, this is the best thing I just found out about Ahmed Johnson. He was in Too Legit, the MC Hammer story. He played Suge Knight.
Yeah, that's true.
What?
That's the true story.
What? How did I never see this? I've never seen that movie. Is it any good?
No, it was a film. Yeah.
Like a short film or like a made for TV movie or something?
I don't think it made the TV or anything. I think it was like video. Went to the video store, like one of those types.
Oh, it was like direct to video.
Yeah. I don't want to downplay it or anything like that.
Now,
But
it also says, since retiring, Norris began working for Booker T and Stevie Ray's wrestling school. Did he work at the school?
That's not true.
It's on Wikipedia. You know, who knows about Wikipedia?
Well, it says Booker T and Stevie Ray's wrestling school. That's not even true.
Right. Well, that's true. Okay. So, there's some inaccuracies, but you know what? Look, I don't know the man from Adam, but
Well, I do.
You do, and you can attest to his character
since I was 25 years old.
So you've known him for more than half your life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And and then in how long was he in WCW?
About 6 months.
About 6 months.
Yeah.
Now, did you have any heat with him when he was in WCW?
Well, no, I didn't. I had no heat with him in WCW, but he said he tried to sabotage my career in WCW by going out and having a match with me and purposely going out and trying to make the match as bad as he possibly could because he knew WCW was about to give me a push. And I was like, wow, if that ain't low down, if that ain't the worst thing you could ever think about wanting to do is sabotage another man's push because of your inadequacies and being overweight and your career just didn't work out. Because there's a reason why you got let go of WWE, or he say he quit. There's a reason why you got let go at WCW. I don't know if he quit or not, okay? But it's a reason why. It's a reason why it's not a whole lot of people have a whole lot of good things to say about Tony Norris. It's a reason why that just about every wrestler that you talk to is going to say almost the exact same thing, verbatim. It's a reason why. And that is not going to happen with me other than with people like, Ahmed Johnson saying negative things about me. That's why I just don't get it. Why another brother want to try to bring another brother down? And I hate looking at it that way. But that's normally the way it is.
Well, yeah, I just, and again, I'm not trying to stir the pot here, but I just wanted to see if there was any recent comments that Ahmed might have made, about what you were just discussing. The only story I found is from a month ago where he discusses why he has heat with D'Lo Brown, Mark Henry, and Booker T. Did you see this article?
I think I did.
Yeah. To me, like if you got heat with multiple people. Now, I've met D'Lo Brown. Nice guy. I've met Mark. Huh?
I love D'Lo.
D'Lo's great. I mean, I will every now and then still send D'Lo a message about basketball. Mark Henry, we just had on the show. Phenomenal individual. I don't really hear anybody ever say anything bad about
I love Mark Henry.
Mark Henry.
And the thing is, Mark and I, we even when he came on the show, we didn't agree on everything.
Sure. Well, y'all are two different people.
But him and I love Mark Henry.
Mark Henry's awesome, man.
Yeah.
He's one of the best. And then it's his heat with you. And again, another thing, I don't really hear a lot of people have opposition to you either. So like, look, I'm doing this objectively, I'm talking about. So if I never hear anybody say anything bad about D'Lo or Mark or Booker, and you being Ahmed says he's got issues with all three, that's when I start thinking like, well, are they the problem?
Everybody's lying except you.
I'm just asking. Like, again, I'm not stirring the pot. I'm just saying, like, you got a problem with everybody? So is it them? Or is it, is it the other way around? I don't know. I'm just asking. It's just strange. So what do you really think the issue is? Why do you think he has so much beef with people and with you?
You know what I really think it's got to be jealousy of how I excelled in my career. And it was like that from day one at the wrestling school. I was always the best guy in the school. I was always the guy that was excelling and going out and thinking about from a psychology perspective. I was thinking about being a worker. I was thinking about this being my profession. I was thinking about this being my job. This thing with wrestling, it wasn't a game for me. It wasn't something that I was trying to be better than anyone else at, other than wanting to be the best at it all the time in the ring. But it wasn't about being better than anyone else as a person or anything like that. I never held grudges or anything like that. But I think it's just jealousy of me being a guy who, excelled, 6-time world champion, 14, 15-time tag team champion, 6-time television champion. I've been champion my whole wrestling career.
Hall of Fame twice.
Hall of Fame twice. And I think that's got a lot to do with it. And I would suggest someone like Ahmed Johnson quit talking about me, because when I see him talking, he's talking from a little room, in his apartment somewhere. I got a big ass house. I got a wife and kids. I got a business. Reality of wrestling. I'm on WWE television on a weekly basis. I'm still relevant. I'm still working. You need to be thinking about paying the rent and keeping a roof over your head, trying to stay under 350 pounds and live. That's my suggestion to Ahmed Johnson. I know he's out there, and I know you're going to hear this.
You're talking that talk.
But like I say, God has blessed me to be where I am today because I'm a good person.
But you're also, I mean, yeah, you say you're a good person, and again, I don't know you to have beef with anybody. I mean, I've known you now for 11 years, 12 years, something like that. I've never known you to have beef with anybody. And whenever we're at the shows or I'm at Mania, people are always like, "Oh man, I love Book. Book's the best. Love Book. Oh, Book's such a great dude."
Everybody owe me a favor.
Oh, I owe Book one. I got.
Everybody owe me a favor. You're exactly right. I've never had heat with anyone in this business because I've never, I don't make friends a whole lot really easy. You know what I mean? Everybody, I always try to look at it as a business associate, co-worker. Treat them the same way you want to be treated.
Sure.
Never say anything in front of them that you really don't want them to hear. That type of stuff. Make sure you keep a low profile all the time. So I think for me, out overseas tours, we laughing. I want to make everybody happy. But the times you didn't see me happy, it was a problem. But it may not have been a problem with you. It may have been a problem with the company or something like that. But like
or you might have had an issue in the moment with somebody, and that's fine, right?
Exactly.
It doesn't mean you have a heat with them.
No. Even I can say this right now. People have heard about Batista and I had disagreement.
Sure. And
if I saw Batista tomorrow, I would go up to him and hug him and say, "What's up, dog? How you doing, man? Man, you killing it." That's what I would do. And the thing is, I'm not just saying that. I know. That's what I would. I don't know what he would do, but I think he would as well. I think he knows that him and I had a disagreement, and we had a lot of testosterone, and it perhaps may have been. I know he wanted, the spot, that I had held, and that's just the nature of the beast. You know what I mean? And there was some beef going back and forth. But if I saw him today, I would say, "Man, what's going on?" I don't think I would think about. Going back and throwing hands. I wouldn't think about, "Hey, man, you still want to fight." You know what I mean? It's just, I'm too old for that. We got to take a break. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, y'all. Hey, man, I didn't expect to talk about Ahmed Johnson.
I didn't either.
Okay. It's just something I felt like I had to get off my chest more than anything, because I don't know. Like you say, I don't have beef with too many people. When I hear someone say that, the reason that I felt the way I did about him because he was there for my brother when I was in prison and I wasn't. That's just that's a falsehood. That's a lie. That's making up something. That means you are formulating the thoughts that's in my head and the way I feel.
Right.
No way you could do something like that.
Sure.
Especially if you and I haven't talked about something like that. But for him to try to create beef between my brother and I, that just goes to show that this guy's a low down lying, notorious lying piece of you know what. That's what it is. There's no way around that,
But we wish him well.
No, we don't. No, we don't. No, we don't.
We do have super chats. I also want to shout out though to all of our sponsors. And I try to make sure that, I use the sponsors so that we're not just talking about stuff, right? You use AG1 Everyday Book. I use the AG1. I use the Game Time. Like Sunday was literally like the sponsored, Hall of Fame sponsored day for me, right? I started the day off with the AG1, mixed it all up, made it feel good. You know what I mean? I have, my Miracle Made sheets, that I slept in all night and it felt nice and right. I went on the Game Time app and I got the best deal for the Chris Tucker tickets and I was really feeling the vibe. And, and I screwed up though, because I took the Bluetooth during the concert, I didn't time it right. The time release wasn't right on it. You know what I mean? And it was the wrong time to be feeling the way I was feeling. I was supposed to be laughing, book.
Right before the action go down, man. That it kicks in immediately. I tried it before,
So I'm sitting there, my cheeks are getting rosier than normal. You know what I'm saying? I'm feeling, I'm laughing at one thing and I'm feeling a whole different one. I didn't know what was going on.
I'm gonna tell you though, I ain't gonna lie. The Miracle Made sheets, they're off the chain.
They're dope.
They talk about 4 or 5 star hotel. I'm gonna tell you, I stay in a lot of 4 or 5 star hotels, and I'm gonna tell you, those sheets are feeling real good at nighttime. So I'm loving it. I want to thank those guys for sending a sample over to us. We really appreciate that.
Yeah, man. Definitely. Shout out to all the sponsors, all the sponsors, just know when to use them. That's all I'm saying. Just know when to use them. Chris Tucker was the only one who could stand up during that show. Let me tell you, I couldn't move. I was stuck where I was. But anyway, we have our super chats to get to. Why don't we go ahead and get to them? This is our first one of the day.
Super chat.
This one comes from Kevin Miller. Ever know why the WrestleMania 22 poster was Cena giving you a bulldog? It was a very odd WrestleMania poster, but it was cool in the same sense. You were on the WrestleMania poster.
I'll take any little bone I can get. It's not about, you're not going to always be doing the moves. Sometimes you got to be taking them. Just part of the game. I always talk about, you're not going to always be at the top of the card all the time. It's like a revolving door. It's always moving. It's very, very fluid. Business. If you ever think get boggled down when you're not, in the middle of something, you're fooling yourself as far as what this thing really, really truly is. And that's why I always talk about the job. It's a job. It really is. It's a job. Sometimes you come to the job and some days are better than others.
Yeah, 100%. But you were on the poster. It's pretty cool. That was the WrestleMania you and Sharmell wrestled together at. So kind of special in a lot of ways. Elijah Vinn, hey, Booker and Brad, I just want to ask a question here. I want to know why all these dirt sheets keep trying to bring up CM Punk and WWE so much, and why do people believe them? It's like ridiculous. Yes, CM Punk back in the rumor mill again. Now there's rumors that he's going to be in WWE, and then he's going to be in TNA, and he's going here.
Might be back in AEW.
Might be back in AEW. I saw that too.
The thing is if CM Punk, got anything to do with this as far as, man, and working with some of these guys and say, hey, man, put out something for me. I can see that. I can see CM Punk wanting to find his way back into the WWE. I can see that. We talking about it right now. You guys are, seeing the dirt sheets, and you're talking about it.
Yeah.
And the thing is, also, I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I'm not gonna put it past WWE hiring him back. I don't know. I can't say, but I do know that just about everybody that's left WWE has come back, no matter what problems they've had. Even the Ultimate Warrior, which I don't think anybody thought the Ultimate Warrior would come back because he was more hated than Ahmed Johnson.
This one's coming in from.
No. The only person who didn't come back, Ahmed Johnson, because he's a low-down, notorious lying piece of you-know-what.
Yo, I think Ahmed lives in the city. You know what I mean? He might roll up on the doorstep here, boy.
Literally, roll up.
I walked right into that one. Was watching your 04 Survivor Series match with JBL, and I got to say, that's an underrated match.
Hell yeah.
Two grown men going at it, very hard hitting. What's that clothesline from hell feel like?
I'll tell you right now, clothesline from hell, not that bad. JBL is a pro. He's a consummate pro. That was a hell of a match for the World Heavyweight Championship. I came out on the losing end. That's just part of the game. But that was one of my favorite matches because John and I, we came from the same spot down the Global Wrestling Federation. John and I, my first trip to Japan, my first trip to Korea was with JBL, tag teaming in Korea together. Yeah. So that was him and I. We knew exactly what being out in the middle of that squared circle was all about, man. And it wasn't about winning and losing for him and I. It was about going out there and giving the fans an ultimate rush. So I appreciate you giving that match some props because don't too many people don't too many people talk about the matches that I've had. They always talk about the moments. So I appreciate that.
Okay, our next one here because we have a ton. Cena lost. Yes, he did at the Riyadh show, Crown Jewel. But his After the Bell interview this morning says he's not done. So what do you think of him being a mentor maybe to Austin Theory? That would be good.
No, man. I said John Cena going over there was kind of like, the old dog, teaching the young dogs a few tricks. But it was a mentoring session as well. But I do see John Cena as being one of those generals that could teach these guys so much. But it's going to be up to these young guys to be open to, listen to John and understand what he's really bringing to these guys as far as knowledge, as far as experience, as far as what it takes to make it to that next level and beyond. John Cena's done that. But John Cena was one of the best learners. He was one of the best students of this game that I've ever seen. And I can say that once, I say it 1,000 times. This kid, when I worked with him, all he did was listen and perform. That's all he did. And he picked it up, and now he's in that same position. So, yeah, he can be a hell of a mentor.
Yeah, well, he's not done. This next Super Chat, I'm just going to preface by saying it might be my favorite Super Chat we've ever gotten.
Super Chat
comes from Repause Order. It says, never forget, what did Madonna need a big ass for?
I'm just saying, bro. I don't know. Maybe she want to try to hit it and quit it. Shake it and make it clap. You know what I mean? That's the thing. Sometimes you see that stuff going down on the internet, you want to try it. You know what I mean? Man, that looks like that's fun. It sounds good. But mine is too small. I need some, maybe that's it. I don't know.
What Madonna need a big ass for?
I'm serious, man. Making it clap is a big thing these days. They know men like that too, because you see these videos and you hear the brother, can you make it clap? And they you getting some blue chew.
but take it right before. Alex Cosentino says, did you ever have any shoot moments in the ring or seen any from the apron? Not receipts, but two dudes legit fighting out their problems.
Just Rene Dupree and Bob Holly. That's the only time I ever saw it in the ring. Okay, that's the only time I've ever seen it, spill out of the ring to the back dressing room, out to the outside. But for me, I've never been in any moments in the ring where I've actually had to have real combat with someone on television or at a house show, just because it wasn't the right place to actually do something like that. A real fight looks, between two guys that are not professional fighters, it looks awful.
Yeah.
It doesn't look great.
No.
So for me, if I had a problem with someone, even if they stiff me in the ring, I'm going to handle it in the back. I'm going to wait till I get back in the back and, handle whatever I have to handle, but never on camera, never in the ring in front of the fans.
Yeah. I think we have time for, I think we got to go to break, huh?
We got time for one more.
Okay, one more. This is from Kelly Toenail, who says, I think I'm gone. I have to put on my vertical zebra shirt because Promise was robbed of her 3 times diamond belt, and the boat commentary is batting 1,000. Well, thank you for that, Kelly. Yeah, Promise, she should have won that one, Book.
Hey, man.
They did her wrong.
Sometimes you win. Sometimes you lose. That's just the way the old mop flop. That's the name of the game. You never can go out and cry over spilt milk, and think about looking through life through the rear view. No, you can't do that. You got to think about what's next, and look at it as an experience more than anything.
All right. Well, hey, we got more super chats to go through, a lot more, and I think
Stick
we're going
around, y'all. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Hey, welcome inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, 6-time world champ, 2-time Hall of Famer. Got my man Brad Gilmore here with me. And guys, it's all about the 5 minutes of fame and stepping inside the 5 minutes of fame today. He is none other than just fresh off his debut, giving up Lexis King. What's going on, man? I love the name. How you doing?
Thank you for having me, Book. I'm doing great. Just got off a fresh day of training and getting after it. Did some shopping today,
Yeah. It seemed like you just vibing right now, laying back, chilling, kicking back. I like that, man. But let's get right into it. Just to give you a little story. I know you was a kid, man, when you lost your dad. Just like me, I lost my dad when I was 10 months old, though. I mean, lost my mom at an early age too, so I can relate. I can relate with your story. For me, I got a chance to meet your dad back in the early '90s, back in WCW, and we had a little run-in. We bumped heads, and no, seriously, man, we almost got into a little something. The thing is, I've never told that story ever.
That's great. I got to hear it.
And the only reason I'm talking about it now is because I'm talking to you about it. I remember it's crazy. It was at Center Stage in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay, yeah. I was born in Atlanta, so
Peachtree Ave. You know what I'm talking about. And we were doing WCW TV Saturday night there, and I went to the bathroom and to the stall, and the stall was locked, of course, right? And I had to wait. Okay, I had to wait, and then when finally the person came out of the stall, it was your dad, Brian Pillman, and I walked past him, and I go into the stall, and needless to say, he left a little surprise for me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and,
that's definitely him.
And I'm like, man, I'm gonna kill this guy. I'm gonna hurt him. You know what I mean? So we definitely got up on the wrong foot right up the bat. But I tell you, man, you getting into this business, it shouldn't feel like a surprise to anyone. My question is, do you feel like you was born to do this?
I think about that a lot, and it's almost like I feel like I never had a choice. I felt like it was always in my blood, for the fact that the day he decided he was going to name me Brian Pillman, I was trapped. It was everywhere I'd go. Go to the grocery. Oh, Brian Pillman. It's just it's a household name in Cincinnati where I grew up, and so I couldn't escape that legacy. I couldn't escape all the reminders of him. And to be fair, he didn't exactly leave me a choice. He left me on this earth without anything. I didn't grow up with all the wealth and all the accolades that he that gained throughout his life. So I had to scratch and claw and find my way through it. I couldn't just go to school and just I did go to school and I did do all those things, but I needed more. He made it so I needed to reclaim all that. You know what I mean? I've never been content with just being average because I know what the Pillman name used to have, and instead of building on this wealth of his, I didn't inherit any of that. I didn't inherit anything. So now I have to go back out there and reclaim it all. So, and the best way to do that with my genetics and my personality and what I inherited from indirectly is to be a pro wrestler. You know what I mean? I was never going to succeed at anything else. There was just that bone in my body that, just the who person I am only works in this world. I tried to be normal. I got my degree. I did the normal guy job, 9 to 5. And I've just always been a creative, eccentric person. And like I said, if, had he had lived a long life and maybe provided for me, I could have invested or done my own thing. But he kind of left, he basically left the stage for me. You know what I mean? It's like, he gave me the spotlight and said, all right, now it's your turn to go be great and go be somebody, but you got to do it on your own. You know what I mean? So I'm almost more blessed in that sense that now I have something to chase. I have this drive to be better than he was, and had he been around, maybe I wouldn't have had that. Maybe I would have resented the business because I didn't need it. I don't know. It's hard to say, every second generation wrestler goes through their own trials and tribulations with this business and how it affects them mentally and their development outside of this world. But I didn't have a choice, I didn't have any insurance plan or any backup plan. It was like, here you go, kid. Here you got a name, that's all he gave me, gave me a name and a legacy.
Hey, you know what? That's a start. That's a start. My name's Booker T.
Sure.
And I'm a junior. I lost my dad when I was young, like I say, 10 months old. And the only thing I had was a photo of my dad to look at, to draw strength from. You know what I mean? I never had the stories like you have, with your dad. But I had that one photo that I looked at for strength all the time. But go ahead, Brad. I just wanted to get that in there.
No, I mean, incredible answer to that question, Alexis. And the thing for me is, growing up a wrestling fan, I would always look forward to the vignettes of the guys, right? If I go back to Razor Ramon and all his vignettes leading up to the debut, or even you and I aren't too far away in age, Carlito and Chris Masters, I remember those very vividly, and I was excited to see them finally debut. Your vignettes coming into NXT were so awesome, and they were different than any vignette I can remember seeing in the last several years. Where did the idea of that come from? Was that something that you wanted to do, or did they approach you with that idea?
All I can say is it was 100% real. I felt that way for a very long time. It was just a shot in the dark. It was just pure chance that the creative happened to be right on board with that. I came into WWE. I told him my story. I told him my real story, and that I don't have a gimmick. This isn't a character. This is real life. Wrestling has had a real impact on my life. And I said, this is what I need to do. I wanted this. I wanted to become my own man. You know what I mean? It's impossible to be better than, the second coming is never better than the original. You know what I mean? And I was never going to be a better Brian Pillman, and I knew that, and I knew that I needed to more or less disparage his name and create my own, You know, not that I don't have any hatred towards my father. But it would have just been an uphill battle to try to be Brian Pillman 2 or Brian Pillman Jr. You know, I've gone 30 years of my entire life with someone else's name, his name. And to come here and to have this company give me the opportunity to create my own name. I mean, it was a dream come true, and it all just fell together. They didn't even, I mean, they gave me a few things to say, but I mean, there wasn't even really a script involved. They said, tell us your story. And I went on that camera, and everything I said was true and 100% from the heart. And that's how I feel. I didn't know him. You know what I mean? Everybody loved him. I mean, I don't hate him. He was a great, great man. I inherited a lot of positive traits from him. But I don't owe him anything to use his name any further. You know, his name, and now it's time for me to make mine. You know, I'm never going to outshine him in what he did, especially the way that he passed. You know what I mean? It's like you think about guys like Tupac. You know, these great artists that when they die at their peak, they're immortalized at that peak. You know what I mean? There's no outdoing that. You know what I mean? They're revered. You know, and he was revered for what he did. And I felt like it's sooner or later. I thought about starting out that way. You know, I thought about starting my career as a new person. My first indie match, I was Alex King. It was like straight up, like almost the exact same name.
Yeah.
So to come in here and be given the creative go, like you pick your name, you know what I mean? Like they didn't even go back and forth with me. They said, we want you to be you. I said, look, this was my older sister's first name. I actually knew her. She would pick me up, take me to freaking Dairy Queen. She was an indie wrestler too and a performer. She was a dancer. And then my little sister Skylar, who I went through all the trouble and all the you know hard times with. You know, she eventually got adopted by her grandma. So you know, to come in with a real raw story that I don't have to fake it. I don't have to read from a script. This is who I am. And no one else has that on me. This business has had a severe, if you watch Dark Side of the Ring, this business has had a severe impact on my life. And despite all that, I'm stronger than ever. And I got here because of this business, because of the great impact that it has had. So while it might have put me, you know, back a few steps in my childhood, here I am now thriving, traveling the world. And I finally made it here to the biggest stage of them all. You know, the WWE, I think I deserve a shot 100% on everything I've been through, you know, inside this career and outside of it. So it's a fresh start for Lexis King.
I like the direction. I really
Same.
do. I mean, you know, so many have taken that route, you know, like the Charlotte Flares, you know, Cody Rhodes. I remember even going back in the day, like, you know, Eric Watts, you know, everybody, you know, I mean, going back to the, you know, they even created a Von Erich, you know, just
Right. We need another one.
no, yeah.
We got to cut.
But you-
Yeah,
but
I'm sure there was a few like kind of just worked like gimmick Von Erichs back then.
For
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, that's what I'm
Like,
saying.
hey, you're gonna be a Von Erich.
That's what I'm saying. And for you to totally not ride on that Pillman name, that says a whole lot about you. The King origin. Talk to me about that, and what does it feel to you when when you do hear your name announced, Lexis King? What's the feeling that go through you?
Well, you know, there's a lot of emotion behind that last name. So that was my stepfather's last name, and he came into the picture. I mean, pretty much as soon as my father passed. I mean, my mom needed to be with somebody to help keep the lights on. So I mean, she was already 1 foot out the door, I'm pretty sure, you know.
Wow.
So
Wow.
before he passed, you know what I mean? Because everything that was going on and the business and things. But so she was looking for some stability, and she met a guy with the last name King, you know, and you know, he came from a great family, but he wasn't great to me, you know. So he was, you know, an abusive, you know, piece of work, you know, and he put me through some shit. And it made me stronger. And in a way, it's like, you know what? This man robbed my childhood. I'm going to rob his name. I'm going to take his name because that's a freaking cool name. And I'm going to make it mean something positive, because as much as he was a piece of garbage to me, You know, I'm not doing this to bring him any glory or fame. I'm doing this for me, you know, like I'm going to take that name and make it something, because in a way he had much more influence on my life than my own father did. You know,
Yeah.
I was 4 years old and I lived under this man's roof till I was about 13. I packed up my bags in a black trash bag and moved out on my own when I was 13.
Wow.
So this man berated me, neglected me, abused me for about, 8-9 years, so I am a king, I called him dad. I mean, there was a part of my life where I looked up to this stepfather as my father. So he never officially, adopted me and gave me his name, but I have every right to use that name because, that what I went through made me who I am today. So I'm more a king than I am a Pillman, if we're quite honest. As much
That's
as
powerful.
as much negativity and stuff that name carries in my life, it's who I am. And if that means that when I step in the ring with you, that I'm going to be a vile piece of shit and just beat the crap out of you, then that's what it's going to be, because all that's been built up and that's been given out to me. I've taken a beating. I've taken a whooping. You know what I mean? I've been thrown down a flight of stairs by a grown man. You know what I mean? Like nothing can stop me on this journey to take what I want from NXT. And it's already started. So you guys have seen it. I made my debut. I made a statement, and this is who I am. I'm Lexis King. So people better get used to the name. People want to talk crap about the name, but they're gonna be chanting it before long. So
I love
get
it.
used to it. Yeah.
Hell of a motivating factor.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that, Brett.
Yeah, you talk about everything that happened in your life and your journey to get to the WWE, to get to the big stage. You were somewhere else before, but I guess my question is, in your pro wrestling journey, to have that ability to work television and work the television style and understand that, how paramount was that for you to prepare you to get to where you are now?
I think everything has prepared me to where I'm at now. I could have went down a really bad road. There was many intersections that I got to, not just in my childhood and my young adult life, but even in the wrestling world, there was some temptations and some paths I could have gone down. You know what I mean? I could have just been, another story, another headline, a guy that, went down the wrong road. But no, I think everything's prepared me to be here. I'm glad I waited till I was of age. I had an opportunity when I was about 23, 24 to come here and train. And it just didn't feel right. It felt too soon. It felt, they always say, you should despise a free lunch, and I felt like getting a shot that soon while I was still green. I didn't really appreciate or respect the business enough to be here. I was still resentful towards it. And I just wanted to get out there and do some indies and see if eventually it would click. And I did. I fell in love with it and it clicked and I traveled and I got on with MLW. My trainer, Lance Storm, recommended. He said, you got nothing to lose, to go with this small sort of TV production. Got experience doing TV style stuff with them. It was great. Got in with the Davey Boy Jr. So I got a little connection with the Hart family. That was really cool to get me started. And then did some stuff with OVW, like the original developmental, Randy and Cena and those guys, they came from OVW. So that was a good little session of TV reps. And then ultimately AEW was my biggest shot before here. Got to work with some great guys, Danielson, Moxley, we had Jerry Lynn backstage, just a lot of great people, Billy Gunn. So a lot of these guys that have, built the past 20, 30 years of pro wrestling have kind of helped me along the way. So I'm definitely not on my own in that. My father definitely left a few angels behind to sort of guide me in the right direction. But I think now at the maturity level I'm at now, all those mistakes are in the past. I don't have to rely on that Pillman name anymore. I'm here. I'm ready to be here, and I'm ready to be Lexis King.
Brad, have you learned after all this time to put your phone on mute? How many times we got to talk about this?
That's called a receipt, and I appreciate it. I appreciate
You know
it.
what's funny? It's like most people I know these days, they just always no one likes to hear a ringtone. If I don't want to hear it. I'll check my phone and see I have a missed call and call that person back. But I don't. My phone's always on silent. from dusk till dawn.
Yeah, that's a
Never, it's
receipt
never
Book
on.
just gave me.
Yeah, as a receipt.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
always have mine on during the show. And it goes off.
And the one
But,
time. There you go.
yeah, you mentioned the name there. Big shout out to Lance Storm.
Yeah.
I had a little run in with Lance Storm back in WCW when he won all the titles, and then he had to face the world heavyweight champion, which was I. At that time, I beat the hell out of him. Oh, man,
Lance, great. Lance really got me ready. Like he told a lot of stories and like talked about, you know, the respect and the politics of the business. Like he spent a lot of time like talking to us about like, you know, the manners of it all and just like how to get by and like, you know, how to not get, you know,
one of
buried and all that. Yeah.
one of my biggest rules, you know, for the young guys, Brad he's heard me say it many times. You got to know how to make it in the locker room before you have a chance at making it in the ring. You know, and it's a protocol. It's not kissing ass or anything like that, because that's something that I've never did once. But knowing how to work my way through the system has definitely been beneficial for me. I remember when I was coming up, young like yourself, and one of the guys came up to me and said, "Book, you're going to be the world heavyweight champion one day." And I go, "Man, get out of here, man. That's not going to happen. I just want to be the best worker." But I did have aspirations at working at the top level, working with the top guys. And I found myself in the main event against Triple H at WrestleMania. And man, it's a night that I'll never forget. And my question is, do you see yourself headlining WrestleMania one day?
You know, I'm not one of those, you know, everybody's like, oh, it's my dream. You know, everybody has like their WrestleMania moment dream. I wouldn't say I'm one of those people that is like, I'm just, oh my God, I just have to be there. I just think it's inevitable. You know, I think it's destiny. I think if I keep going on this path I'm on, this trajectory I'm on, it's bound to happen. You know, that moment is bound to be mine. And right now it starts, you know, one foot in front of the other right now, NXT. And it starts with becoming the biggest threat and becoming the king of NXT. But, you know, once I get to that main roster, yeah, I mean, everybody looks forward to that WrestleMania moment. But I'm not going to sit here and say I lose sleep every night over it, because I know it's going to happen. I know that everything in my life has happened for a reason. And I didn't suffer. I didn't go through all that suffering. I didn't go through all the bumps and all the bruises and all the injuries and all my life and my childhood and everything it's brought me to here. To me, WrestleMania is inevitable. You know, it has to happen. Nobody has the story that I have. Nobody's faced the adversity I have. And guess what? And if it didn't happen, and if I never made it to WrestleMania, I would be 100% fine with that, because after everything I've been through, I could be sleeping on a floor right now. You know what I mean? In a crack house. You know what I mean? But here I am at NXT, coming in, having a great debut, looking great in the life, you know, having already made a good living in wrestling and just kind of going further with it. You know what I mean? Like the order of operations has been on par here. You know, from one place to the next, I've constantly moved up in this business. So it's inevitable that I'll be at WrestleMania, whether I'm the main event or not. I don't know. I'm gonna play my part. You know, I'm gonna run the play that the coaches want me to run, and I'm gonna be the best version of Lexis King that they're ever gonna see. You know?
I tell you, you gave me the perfect answer. All right, you gave me the perfect answer, and the reason the reason I say that is because I ask students sometimes, you know, when they come to reality of wrestling and they get on the show and they start doing pretty good, and then I bring them in my office and I say, "What's your goals? What's your aspirations?" And the right answer is always, well, excuse me, the wrong answer is always to be the WWE champion. The right answer is always, man, I want to be the best reality of wrestling champion I could possibly be.
Yeah.
And you started at NXT. You said, I want to conquer this. I want to be the king here before I move on. And that right there, man, is the perfect way to think. Never get too far ahead of yourself. Always think about the now. The future is going to happen for you, but thinking about the now is the only way you can really roll through this thing and really keep it in perspective. So I tell you, man, I wish for nothing but the best for Lexis King. I see you having a bright future. You know, the fans might need to order their sunglasses now. You know what I mean? Because I think the rocket is going to be put on you, and you're going to go straight to the moon. Just because I feel like you're grounded. I feel like you have the right idea what this thing's all about, as well as if you ever need anything from me, I'm just a phone call away, and I'm always going to be here to help you. Any parting words for your fans?
And just stay tuned. You know, you heard me on Tuesday. You know, I've already had an impact. There's some things that are going to come, and there's some things I might have already done that you haven't seen that have happened backstage. But you just never know. You know, this character and this person, it's a brand new identity for me. It's a chance to step outside my father's shadow and finally show everybody what I'm all about. And that's very exciting for me. It's very exciting for the fans. And I think it's going to be very exciting for WWE. I think everybody's excited to see what Lexis King does next.
Oh, yeah. The 5 minutes of fame, guys. I want to thank Lexis King for stepping inside just for a minute to give us a little champagne wishes and caviar dreams, man. But stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
The Ed Milet Show showcases the greatest peak performers sharing their journey, knowledge, and thought leadership.
This is one of the all-time best pieces of advice ever given on the show.
Actor Rainn Wilson.
The number one thing that psychologists point to with young people of why they are struggling so much in this mental health epidemic is they don't have resilience. So how do you build resilience if you don't understand suffering itself?
The Ed Milet Show is available on YouTube or wherever you listen.
Hi there. Sorry for the interruption, but are you enjoying this show on Google Podcasts? You should know that the Google Podcasts app is going away this spring. That's right, going away, gone as in no longer available. You can still enjoy this show elsewhere though. Try out Spotify or Amazon Music, or maybe TuneIn is more your style. Whatever app you switch to, be sure to follow so you never miss the next episode. And thanks for listening, wherever you listen.